Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is currently 2 a.m. and today is, well, it's basically the video for the second, but I'm recording it on the third. And if you know me, my birthday is the 3rd of March, so it's my birthday today, kind of. I haven't slept yet, so basically it's not, but it is, if you know what I mean. So I'm now 21. If you want to do it like that. Obviously, I was born at 5 a.m., so I'm not actually 21 yet, but I'm basically 21, so I'm 21. And I think it would be wrong of me to not kind of make this a special episode. I think tomorrow's will be more special, but still, I want to kind of go over some things real quick. I'm going to be as concise as I can, but the more I look at it, the more life is fucking going by, bro. It's fucking going by. I'm sure you all agree with me. Like, it just goes. It just goes. It just, where does it just fucking goes? It goes so fast. And this chair's broken. Is it broken? Is that moving sideways? Whatever. Um, Life is just going, bro. It's just going. Like, I was in Porto in October, bro, and it's now fucking March. Like, I remember, I'm sure you remember Christmas, right? Christmas, and saying all these things that you're going to go and do in the new year. And now I'm sat here on the 3rd of March, well, 2nd of March, 3rd of March, whatever you want to say. And it's like, I'm already 2 months into the year already. Like, what have you done in the last 2 months? You know, the amount of promises that you've said that you're going to do to yourself, you're going to do, the changes you're going to make, the things you're going to do differently in your life. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but how many things have you said, and how much of those things are you still doing? And you all kind of like lie to yourself and say to yourself, you're going to do stuff, and you're going to achieve certain things. You're going to do stuff. You're going to become the new Elon Musk. You're going to become the next fucking millionaire. You're gonna buy this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna have a Porsche. You're gonna have this, whatever. But to do that, you've got to actually have the funds to do that. You've got to be in the position to do that. And what have you done in the last few months that's gonna actually get you to that position? You know, bro, it's fucking crazy how fast time's going, bro. It's fucking crazy. Like, I'm 21. I'm fucking 21. And life just fucking goes fast. And the amount of, like, because we're kind of living in the illusion, I think a lot of us, if not all of us, are living in the illusion that we have so much time. And I think if you use your time intentionally and you don't constantly like be in the put yourself in the position of time flies when you're having fun, and always be having fun. And by fun, I mean social media, by video games, by like stimulating yourself to make time go by much faster. Time is going to go by fast, and because of that, you're not actually doing anything, and time's just going, and time is the only thing you have. Like, I'm, you can do whatever with money. Like, money's gonna go and come back, but we treat it like, I think the vast majority of us, treats money with more value than time. Because I think a lot of us at the age of 20, 21, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, uni age, it's so scarce that the money that we have, you use, like, so you kind of attach so much value to it, and because of that, you kind of disregard the value of time, if that makes sense. So yes, I mean, of course, I'm chasing money. That is literally my point of this series, of course. Um, but it's so easy to disregard time. Like, think how slow time goes. If you've ever done the plank, right? For an example, the when you do the plank, it goes and it takes like a minute, 2 minutes, like, to do it, right? You do it for however long you sit up for. But when you're doing it, it takes so fucking long. It doesn't feel like a minute. It feels like the longest minute ever, right? Because you're in constant pain. You're in constant, like, I want to stop, I want to stop, I want to stop, I want to stop, and you're constantly thinking about the time. You're thinking about whatever, and you know how much you can get done in an hour, how much you can get done in 2 hours, but that 2 hours that it takes you to do that one thing, or that like even hour or just whatever it is that you know you need to do and you know how long it's going to take you ish, you'll make that 2 hour thing last a whole day because you procrastinate doing it all day, or you just make it last long because you sit there doing a bit of writing and I'm gonna watch a new Netflix episode, now I'm gonna watch YouTube, now I'm gonna go on Instagram, and they make it take so much fucking longer than it should, and then you sit there at the end of your day and you're like, fuck, what have I done today? I wrote this document and it took me fucking 10 hours to write this document that I could have like honestly done with all the like actual like mental capacity and writing that went into it. Time wise, I could have done it in an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is. So understand that time is your most valuable asset. Again, this is so rich coming from, oh, I say 20, it's now 21. It's so rich coming from a 20-year-old, 21-year-old now. All this stuff. Because, of course, I haven't got my life fucking figured out. No way. No way. I don't expect myself to in any regard. But, again, I understand this stuff and I try and implement it into my life as best as I can. Of course, it's just a constant progression. It's constant progress. It's constant doing things, adding things on, whatever. But so many of us disregard time and how quick does a week fucking go, bro? Like, it's crazy. I don't know if it's different for me because I work from home, and with that, my schedule's a bit more like lenient, if that makes sense. But I guess if you're doing a 9 to 5 job, that 9 to 5 goes slow, so then it makes the week feel longer, right? But for me, like this week, bro, it's gone so quick. Like it's fucking Saturday. It's fucking Saturday. It's gone so quick. Like it was like the 24th, like what feels like the other day, and that was the fucking set third of March. Like, it's going so fast, man. If you want to do something with your life, you just gotta fucking do it first of all. But you can't live as if you've got so much time because I really truly believe that you don't. And we think we do, and that's why so many older people, like when I say older people, I mean like middle-aged people, they look back on their life and they say they wish they did so much more in their younger years, or they said like life is short. Like that, I've heard that my dad say that so many times. Like life is short, why not? Life is short, why not? Life is short, which I guess is a good way to live, right? With that quote, but there's a reason he's saying that quote, and it's because he understands how fast life goes. Like there's people that I know from the tennis club or whatever that I play tennis at and I speak to sometimes, and they'll say things like, "Oh man, I remember when I was 20. It feels like last week," like something like that. Or I remember when I was this age. I remember when I was doing this. Like we take it for granted now, but I think when we get to that age, it fucking goes so fast. And I understand why, because if you don't actually grab it and fucking do something intentional, it just fucking goes, bro. It just goes. It just goes. I know it just sounds naive of me saying this. Like, I feel like I'm not doing this in a very credible format right now. But if you understand what I'm saying, it just life goes. It just goes so fast. And if you're not grabbing onto things, doing certain things like attacking or whatever, and you're just living life like a feather in the wind almost, not actually doing stuff, it just flies by. It's mad. It really is. It's just fucking crazy. And life just flies by, man. So I mean, I've just turned 21. Um, Obviously, I haven't woken up. My actual birthday's tomorrow when I wake up. Uh, but fucking 21, bro. It's crazy. But I can understand how life's gonna go so fast, and if I don't actually do something now and actually take life like and embrace pain as much as I want to, because don't get me wrong, I do, but not as much as I want to. There's always sometimes where I'll allow myself out of that, and I do it a lot more than I want to. If I actually want to do something, make something of myself, and actually accomplish something in the time frame that I've been given to do so, I can't live it waiting for something to be perfect before then I can live my life. Because right now, I think there's an underlying thought process in everyone's mind that something's just going to come and save them. Something's going to come and change their life. When in reality, I don't think anyone's coming to save you. I think it's all down to yourself. And if you don't actually take life by the hands, by the horns, or whatever you want to call it, life's just going to go by, and you're going to look back at it at the age of 30, and you'll be like, I had all of these things that I wanted to do, all of these dreams, all of these aspirations, and I never achieved them because I was too afraid to embrace discomfort. I was too afraid to do the things that I didn't want to do because I was too addicted to going on Instagram, too addicted to going onto TikTok. And you'll know that in the deep depths of your heart. You'll be like, fuck. Like, you'll literally just be sat there. It's weird, but you're just going to be sat there and just be like, fuck. And you're never going to get that opportunity again. And it's crazy to think about, really. So my advice is this. But before I say this, actually, I think, again, I talk about perfectionism a lot. But as I just said, perfectionism is such a big barrier in a lot of people's lives to do anything, because people think that once they achieve this goal, then they'll be happy. Once they achieve this thing, then they'll be happy. Once they achieve this, then they'll be happy. And if you never achieve that thing, then you're never going to be content. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be able to enjoy the moment because you haven't achieved that thing. So instead of thinking, then you'll be happy when you achieve this thing. Yes, of course, attach value to it and do it, but don't disregard the current moment that you're in. Because you're never going to be the age that you are right now watching this video ever again. Like, the age that you were 5 seconds ago, gone. It's gone. And again, 5 seconds ago, gone. The age you were 5 seconds ago, gone. Time's just fucking going, and we disregard it because we're like, yeah, I've got fucking 80 years of my fucking life. I'm fine, yeah. But, like, I think I attach so much value to the age range of 20 to 30 because I feel like once you get to 30, don't get me wrong, you can still do things, but I want to have fucking kids, bro. I want to have kids. I want to do certain things. I want to have achieved certain things. I want to have a certain capability to do certain things at a certain age. And the longer it gets, the smaller the time frame is before you actually. I'm only 21. 20, 21. I'm usually say 20. It's now 21 as of today, but I've got pressure on myself, of course, but everyone lives in that sense of perfectionism, thinking that once my life's perfect, once I've achieved this, once I've achieved that, once I've done this, then, and only then, will I be happy? Will I be content? Will I be happy and able to enjoy my life? Will I be able to go on a holiday and not think about other things? When in reality, when that actually does come, I've heard from most people, and I've kind of experienced it myself to an extent, when it does come, you just want more. Most people, 99% of people, you're like, okay, I've done this, now I want more. You don't just go complacent as soon as you get that goal. You'll be like, oh mate, I've just made £10,000. Okay, done. Or maybe that's the shit example, right? But just you know what I mean. You hit £1,000, you buy that fucking car, you buy whatever it is you want to buy. You go on a trip to whatever the trip you want to do, and then you finish the trip. What? And then you're just gonna you buy that car, and then you're just gonna drive the car forever? No, you want fucking more. You want to achieve more. So you're never going to be content. So instead of thinking in the future and thinking, when you buy this thing, then you'll be happy, think now. Think like, bro, now I've got all this stuff. Cool. Right, I'm happy with this. When I buy that car, yes, I'll have the car, but I'm going to want more than the car. I'm not just going to buy that car and then just drive around that fucking car the rest of my life. I'm going to want more. I'm going to want a house. I'm going to want this. I'm going to want that. I'm going to want that, whatever. So instead of thinking like that, thinking that you're going to be happy then when you've got the Porsche, when you work, because you won't, think now and be like, okay, I've got this, I've achieved this thing, I'm doing this thing right now. It's the process, it's the journey. I'm in the journey of achieving this goal. I'm in the journey of doing this. I'm currently sat here at my desk with 2 loving parents that love me, with my pets that I've got, with my family that I love, get on with, whatever. I've got friends that care about me. I've got friends I can go and see. I've got all these things that we can be so grateful for, but I know a lot of people in this space just disregard it purely because they strive to have more. And by more, most of the time it's all materialistic and doesn't bring any contentment to their life. So more be more uh, focused. Embrace more everything you have in this current moment, because it's so easy to disregard. So easy to disregard, because I know a lot of us think similarly, if that's even a word. A lot of us think very similar, and we're always like, yeah, I want this thing, I want this thing, I want this thing, I want this thing. But that takes away from now. So you wait for everything to be perfect, so then you can be happy, or then you can live your life. When in reality, you're living your life already. You just gotta allow yourself to live it. Because I think a lot of us put this boundary on ourselves, this like ceiling on ourselves. That's like, I don't deserve to be enjoy my life right now. I don't deserve to do this. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Like, fundamentally, I don't disagree, because I know we all want more. Because I don't want to fucking live in this fucking room. Sorry, I'm swearing too much. Live in this room for the rest of my life. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to stay here for the rest of my life. I don't want to just sit here. I want to achieve certain things, of course, like we all do. But there's also things that we have right now that we can appreciate and we can do things with, and those are the things that we need to actually learn to be content with and live our life day by day, working towards our goal, but not let that take away, not let that goal take away from what we have in this very moment. I'm going to, you know what really helps me articulate this? I'm going to read my blog post, not the whole thing. I'm going to read this one quote from this post, which I think I'm proud. This is the most proud blog post I've made, because it was like an English essay, but on my own terms, which is weird. But I'm going to give you this. I'm going to read you a story. So there's this guy called Joe, and this guy called Joe, he's really into jazz, and he plays the piano. He's currently a music teacher at a school. He really likes music. He really likes whatever, and he's always wanted more. He's always wanted to go and perform jazz. He wanted to be a jazz artist. He wanted to do all these things. And in his current moment, he is sat, not being content, not appreciative, not happy with this current scenario, because when he achieves his goal of being a jazz artist and performing in front of crowds, then he'll be happy, right? So I'm gonna skip the whole story, but throughout the story he does all this stuff, and after being a jazz teacher, he then gets the opportunity to perform with one of the biggest jazz artists in the world. Now, Joe has been a massive fan of this artist for his whole life, and like, it was an absolute dream to perform with her, right? And this is what I want to say here. So he then goes and performs with her. Her name is Dorothea. He goes and performs with her, and it was amazing. He has his own whole little solo on stage, but he then finishes the performance, the performance is something he has dreamed of doing his whole life. And he goes out the front of the arena after he's finished performing in front of the crowd. Of course, doing the thing that he'd always dreamed of doing, and goes at the front and says this: "So, what happens next?" To Dorothea, which is the jazz artist. He says, "So what happens next?" She responds, "We come back tomorrow night and do it all again." Joe, feeling somewhat unsettled, has a slight pause to congregate the situation, and after pondering it for a few seconds, he states, "It's just that I've been waiting on this day for my entire life. I thought I'd feel different." After a long pause, Dorothea reciprocates by saying, "I heard this story about a fish." He swims up to the older fish and says, "I'm trying to find this thing they call the ocean." "The ocean?" says the older fish. "That's what you're in right now." "This," says the younger fish, "this is water. What I want is the ocean." Now I'm going to read you this. I summarized this. I've actually got people highlighting this stuff. Actually, it's pretty cool. But I summarized this. I'm going to read you this whole interpretation of this whole story, right? Because this is had such a big impact on my mindset, on my life and everything. So let me just read this, okay? So how I interpret this story is another way of describing a person's life. So many of us go about life thinking about the future rather than appreciating each of the present moments we are in. This movie never fails to make me think about how much of my day-to-day life I take for granted, and I'm sure anyone reading this can relate to some extent. How many times have you waited weeks, if not months, for a holiday with nothing to think of? To, how how many times have you waited weeks, if not months, for a holiday with nothing to think about other than excitement, which takes your mind off and stops you from appreciating all that's happening in each moment prior? I'll take a guess and say it multiple times. I'll take a guess and say multiple times as I have experienced the same thing. I'm starting to read this for some reason. But then once you get on the holiday, you feel somewhat underwhelmed. Not because the holiday wasn't enjoyable or what you expected, but because of a different feeling that you can't quite put your finger on. Maybe the feeling that the thought of it inside your head was much better than the holiday itself. I'm not sure, but I think most of us can agree that we've experienced this feeling in the past. A dead person would do anything to be in your body, yet we all take it for granted day by day. Imagine how much more you would value life if, despite being on your alleged deathbed, you were able to fully recover and live out the rest of your life. Now, I'm not going to sit here how to live your life, but keep this as a reminder to eat. Sorry, let me emphasize this one. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to live your life, but keep this as a reminder to appreciate each present moment you are in. Even if you do have something like a holiday to look forward to, and you as you don't know what, even if you do have something like a holiday to look forward to, as you don't know what you're missing, and you certainly don't want to look back in regret. Take this with a grain of salt, coming from a 20-year-old who's honestly yet to live the vast majority of his adult life outside of school, and I'm not an elderly man with his whole life to look back on. However, this is my current take on life in general, and I hope it can be of some value to others. Now, I wrote this back in October, I think. Um, you can take your own thought process on that. I don't think I read that at all well because I thought I said other things that I did, so I was emphasizing the wrong words and stuff, but I think you get the idea. Joe wanted to do this thing his whole life. He wanted to achieve this goal his whole life. It was what he set out to do, and in the process of which, disregarded everything else that didn't correlate to achieving that goal. But once he actually achieved the goal, he realized that it wasn't actually all that it was made out to be. Not that it wasn't good, but more so that I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I think we put so much value onto things that we want to accomplish, but when they actually come, we want more. We're never going to be content with that current thing that's put on a plate in front of us. We always want more and more and more and more, regardless of what it is that we achieve. Now, of course, I'm 20. I haven't achieved much in my life, in all honesty, but I think take this as a lesson to just kind of live every moment that you're in, and not live your life with the outcome of whatever it is that you want to achieve, like as the pinnacle of your life. Is when you achieve that, then you'll be happy, because until then you don't deserve to be happy because you haven't achieved that yet. Live it more so in a way of which you appreciate the moments that you're in, appreciate what it is that you're doing, appreciate the journey, enjoy the things that you're doing, enjoy everything that you're doing, and realize that you're doing it for a reason, and you're doing it for a specific goal. You're doing it to retire your parents, or whatever it is, whatever the underlying goal is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing. But don't put so much value on that thing that it makes you disregard the rest of your life, because I think that would just be naive, and you're just going to look back and regret. Because whatever the goal is, I truly believe that whatever it is that you set out to do is never going to be what you've made it out to be in your head. whether it's money, whether it's whatever it is that you achieve, you're always going to want more. You're never going to be content with that ever. I don't believe. So rather than sitting here thinking, when I achieve that, then I'll be happy, try your best to kind of be content now and live day by day now, live in the moment now, and enjoy every moment that you have right now, and then go from there. I think you get what I'm trying to say, but yeah, that's kind of my take on that. And I know it's kind of freeing, but just understand that life goes so fucking quick, man. It's crazy. It really is. Like, I've been out of school for what, like 3-4 years now? It's like, it's mad. It truly is crazy. So, and now I'm 21. So yeah, don't let time just pass you by like a feather in the wind. Try and actually grab onto something and do something intentional, whatever it is, and be grateful in the process, because it's going to help you like exponentially. But yeah, I think you get what I'm trying to say. I feel like there's one more thing I want to touch on, but I can't quite remember what it is. Just yeah, I mean, I'm literally just thinking out loud, really. I mean, this is kind of how I see things. People are bound to disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm not I'm not Jesus. I'm not gonna have everything perfect, you know. So I feel like something I want to touch on. I don't want to end. I want to say something else. Anyway, yeah, just don't let time pass you by and do stuff regardless of it. If it's just don't get stuck in the whole of your habits, whether it's your phone, whether it's social media, whether it's anything that you know isn't constructive and you know isn't going to make you fulfilled. Try as your best to stay away from that and limit it as best as you can, and do the things that actually are fulfilling, that are actually going to bring you outcomes, that are going to bring you results, that are going to bring you contentment and happiness, I guess. You know, because how happy do you feel when you've had a productive day and you end the day and you go and sit in your bed, or you go sit at like wherever you sit, like just sit and ponder on your day. How much happier do you feel when you know you've had a good day, as opposed to knowing that you've avoided every task that you know you need to do for the whole entirety of the day, because you're afraid of the discomfort that it might bring, to which you just sit in your comfort zone on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever. Think how fulfilled you feel, and then think back and be like, why am I even on this thing? Why am I doing this thing? Why am I sat here on fucking TikTok? I know that it's not productive. I know that I don't want to do it, but I do it because I'm addicted. So, of course, I'm going to teach you how to get rid of an addiction. That's an incredibly tough process. I have actually read something on that. I'm sure. I'm sure it will come back to me. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to get over an addiction, because obviously I've never been addicted to anything really. I mean, I say that I've never been addicted to anything that is mainstream bad, like cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, like gambling, anything that's like obviously bad. I've never been addicted to. The worst it's probably been is just social media, really. Because I mean, I've never smoked. I never intend to smoke. Uh, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've never drank alcohol, I've never done drugs, so I've never gambled. Actually, the only time I've ever gambled was on a tennis match with my friend for 10 quid, and I lost. So I'm currently like lost bets. But regardless, just yeah, realize what your issues are, write them down on a piece of paper, and then try your best to overcome them and get rid of them, I guess. You want to put it like that. And that's how you're going to be fulfilled at the end of your day. That's how you're going to be content, and that's how you're going to move forward. And if you're not doing those things, and you're not seeking discomfort, and you're just sat in your comfort zone every day, then I hate to say this, but I don't think you're ever going to achieve anything, even as much as you say that you will. You don't want to hear that, of course, but if it were to come easy, then everyone would do it, and the reason it's so valuable is because not many people can do it, because it's hard. So if you can be willing to do the hard things and willing to put yourself in the discomfort as opposed to the comfort zone that you're currently in, then you're going to achieve far more things than most people. It's just pure science. facts, whatever. Science, facts. I don't think it's science. I don't think it's. Well, I mean, it's just. I mean, you can disagree with me, whatever. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'm 21. Jesus Christ. I'll give you a proper birthday video tomorrow. This isn't really my birthday video. This was intended for the 2nd, but I'm uploading on the 3rd. So I'm not going to say it's my birthday video because that's tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I'll find something. Thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, you can do so. Top of the description. I post every week on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. about topics similar to what I've just spoken about. So if you want to go check that out, you can do so. But with that said, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you tomorrow night. I can't tell you how much I fucking appreciate you guys. Genuinely. So, see you tomorrow night, boys. Cheers.